Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Biohazard 2, Real Survival. In the last episode, we managed to get inside the laboratory complex and managed to find our way back to the tram platform that led us here, only to find that Ada Wong has, for the time being, completely disappeared. So now we have to find where she is, and more importantly, we have to restore power to the lab ourselves. Fortunately, that shouldn't be too difficult of a task, although it is going to be slightly tedious in terms of item box management, because our item box is all the way down this corridor here. I suppose it could be in a worse place. But nonetheless, I'm going to press on, and I'm still doing fairly well for myself, regardless of the fact that things could be a little bit better. So back down we go instead of up, because we're in the pump room. We don't want to be here right now because there was absolutely nothing we can do without the master key, which we'll need to find. And who's to bet the master key is somewhere lying down the heart of the laboratory. And last episode we took care of these zombies, the B.O.W. zombies lurking around this central area. Now we're back in the main shaft, and this area is currently useless to us at the moment, so we'll try blue at the moment. This is probably going to be a very bad idea, but we'll try it. Is this the area I want to be in? I think it might be. There is a shutter that's down though, that we cannot access. And this room needs the card key, so we can't use that either. We're in the east area of the main part of this floor, so let's enter this room covered in ice. Dare I say it's liquid nitrogen. But well, two things of note. There are some items on the case over there, and there is this device here. A control box used for super low temperature experiments. I could set the superconductor fuse here if I had a fuse case. Well, as fortune may have it, Leon, the fuse case is where it's actually supposed to be, and I forgot to put the put the ink ribbons back in the item box per se. That is unfortunate. Never mind, I suppose I'll have to bear that. Now you get the wonderful animation of this automated arm setting the superconductor fuse right here in the fuse case, like so, which we can actually use to actually power up the lab now, which is very convenient, which means that we can actually retrieve the other items in this particular room, such as that first aid spray, which I will be going after. I will be having that first aid spray. In fact, I'll probably store them upstairs. That is to say, the ink ribbon and the first aid spray, since it is currently the only item box that I have access to at the moment. There are probably other item boxes further down, and it's a certainty that there are item boxes in the lower parts of the laboratory in question, but right now we have more immediate things to deal with, which is restoring power to the lab. means that, well, any locked doors or anything can have power, and I was going to go back for that first aid spray. So before I forget, I'm going to go for the first aid spray, and then I'm going to actually go back to the item box. Then we can start getting underway. Don't want to push that just yet. Well, I could push it and it will open, but could be a good idea, might not be a good idea. I'll just have to risk it, and yes, I will take this first aid spray, of which I have a considerable amount right now, and I'm probably going to use some, if not all of those first aid sprays when we finally get out of this place altogether, because Biohazard is notorious for that. Why not? We'll push the switch and see what is in here. The door is open, and there appears to be a room marked staff only. 2 or more staff need to be present to enter, commencing with secondary fingerprint verification. Our fingerprint isn't on file at the moment, and this door is locked and can only be opened by the fingerprint verification. I'll notice that it said secondary fingerprint verification because, believe it or not, Claire has actually input her fingerprint in beforehand, courtesy of the zapping system that Biohazard 2 was well known for. Which means that Leon will be able to enter the room that Claire herself could not in this instance. And before we get down into the west area of the lab on this particular floor, it's time to go backtracking all the way back to the item box, just in case. It always helps to actually have at least 2 item slots available, although I do actually want to keep my weapons handy, just in case. And actually, to be perfectly honest, I doubt I shall actually be using the handgun ever again, except in an emergency. I should doubt that I will need to use it at this point. Trusty item box. Let's see, I think I shall store them like so. That's 2, and further down. So we have 5 first aid sprays in total. That's excellent. We have a shotgun, a magnum, and ammunition for both, which is more than we can ask for. But excuse me. I believe there's nothing else we can do at the west area for the time being, without a key card to open that door. So I suppose our only way forward is to head through to the east area of the lab. And curiously enough, still no sign of the injured Ada. I mean, her wounds weren't altogether that serious, but armed with only a handgun. Wait, I went in the completely the think I went completely the wrong way, as per usual. I want to get back down to the main area and go east. No, west, sorry, because we already went east, I think. I'm just getting myself confused. Now, the east area is red, so east it is. There we go. No, I tell a lie. They're opposites. They're not. It's not like the original biohazard. Red is where we want to go. Red is not. Red is not east. Red is west. In this instance. As I thought, west area. I don't think I want to open those shutters just yet, because it would actually be very unfortunate. Oh, this door is open. Huh. Oh my word. No, get off. You crawl on the ground. And I'm injured. I want to deal with the zombies quickly. That is unfortunate. Huh. User registration. Temporary user registration for the culture experiment room. Username guest. Password none. Valid for 24 hours. I doubt we'll be here for 24 hours any longer. There is something over here. Aha! It's an umbrella keycard, which we will desperately need. And there is a body over here. A researcher's corpse. Looks like he poured oil all over the place. Can we use the lighter here? No, we don't, because I think I think the oil has already been disposed of, in any rate. A researcher's bed, there are some blue herbs over here, and that might be important. You know what, I'm going to use that on the hunch that I might actually find herbs scattered around here, which I will probably tend to, but I've got something quite useful. Well, it's something that is certainly going to be useful here. Chemical fuel flamethrower made by Umbrella Incorporated. The fuel is fed from a small cartridge, and it takes up 2 slots, much like the submachine gun. Now, believe it or not, this is Leon's answer to the flame rounds that Claire gets for the grenade launcher. Now, there is this thing here, this monitor here, which has a laboratory security manual in front of it. Security measures in case of an emergency. In the instance of an uncontainable biohazardous outbreak, all security measures will be directed towards the underground transport facility. In the instance that any abnormalities are detected among cargo in transit, all materials will automatically be transported from the loading zone to the designated high-speed train, at which point all materials will be isolated and disposed of immediately. In the instance of a Class 1 emergency, the entire train will be purged and disposed of without delay. In the instance that the lab itself becomes contaminated, the northernmost route currently used to transport materials to and from the facility will be designated as the emergency escape route. This route will secure passage to the relay point outside the city limits. Disclosure about any information regarding research conducted here or the existence of this facility is strictly prohibited. Since it is top priority to keep all research classified, escape access may be denied under certain extenuating circumstances. And we'll follow that, but anti-B.O.W gas sprinkling completed. Yeah, because Claire had already used this beforehand. It seems like the B.O.W gas has certainly run its course. Now, I go outside and try and go through that other door. I can just open this door, like so, because it's the door we just came through. And this door is locked from the inside, so we're going to have to use that ventilation shaft to actually make our way through. Of course, and there is a clump of blue herbs here, which might come in handy. Not today, Sonny Jim. Not today. There we go. Some more bullets. Yeah, the liquors will be weaker, thanks to the P-Epsilon gas. There is a locker here. Ho ho! And it's very fortunate that I found this place, because, lo and behold, more shotgun shells, which we are going to use quite a bit now. Let me just examine this lab key quickly. It's exactly what it says. That door is now unlocked, and the interior has been destroyed by the plant growth. Doesn't appear to be anything else that's here. Nothing else in the locker. I think we're good to go. We don't need any more ink ribbons. I think we have plenty at the present moment. But we're fairly armed, so to speak, so might as well see what is behind this shutter here. I'm almost certain to regret it. Oh dear. Ivies. Not the normal kind. Because thanks to the P-Epsilon gas, these creatures now have poison. Oh dear. I want to get away as quickly as possible. I think I burned one of them, but I still ended up getting poisoned. But fortunately, we shall be using blue herb, like so, and used about, yeah, used almost 30% of that flamethrower there. Yeah. And that Ivy is now dead. And yeah, that flame. That's not good. Burn. And I got poisoned again. That's unfortunate. Well, I was bound to get poisoned sooner or later. I'm just so glad that wasn't from spiders. I don't think it's going to be infinite, and are on caution, and I've used about half of that I've used about half the fuel intake of that particular flamethrower. Might find a replacement, but ooh, oh, you back. That's not good. Stay down. Oh, it is, don't want to go down just yet. Must have been still alive. Wow. I am, I'm literally almost out of, flamethrower fuel. It's very unfortunate. At least I can get poisoned again. I might go down here to use the key card, but I won't use it just yet. Well, I'll use it, but I won't go in that room just yet, because I'm going to have to make a beeline for the item box. I think we've dealt with the Ivies in question. All the Ivies that I think I'm possibly going to run into. I may be wrong on that front. Because you never know what surprises the world of survival horror has in store for oneself. Well, might as well go back to the only currently safe area that's here at the moment. I know there's a green herb down there, but I would rather be safe than sorry. I'm using a lot of herbs over the course of this. I will probably consume many, many, many more throughout the rest of this ordeal. But we have made modicum of progress, so to speak. I should store the flamethrower here for a moment, and I'll have a herb just in case. I'll use one, and I'll keep another one on me. Also making sure to equip the shotgun, just in case. Though, of course, I just so happen to run into any more creatures, that is going to be extremely unfortunate. But, away we go. And, not quite done with this level just yet, seeing as how I've opened that door not too long ago. So that's something at least. Yeah, the Ivies being poisonous, we could have avoided that by not having the anti-B.O.W gas released throughout the laboratory during Claire's scenario, but I think the B.O.Ws would be even more resilient than they are now, not that they aren't already. I think now is a very good time to leave this for the time being, considering how much progress we've just made thus far. So when we return, I shall head into that room that I unlocked with the card key, and see what horrors obviously lurk within, because there are always horrors lurking behind every door when it comes to the laboratories of Umbrella. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.